For foreign companies venturing into India's booming market, intellectual property is often their most valuable asset. Yet, did you know that not protecting your IP sufficiently can lead to losses exceeding 20 to 30% of your potential revenue within the first few years of operation due to counterfeiting and infringement? For some companies, this represents a significant impediment to their profitability, brand reputation, and long-term viability in one of the world's most dynamic economies. In this video, we examine some of the essential, often overlooked steps you must take to truly protect your innovations and investments in India. Okay, let's first get the lay of the land. What does the IP environment in India look like? You have under-resourced enforcement agencies. While laws exist, the sheer volume of IP infringement cases often overwhelms enforcement agencies. Expect potential delays of months, even years in seeing action. The ratio of IP cases to enforcement personnel can be as high as 1 to 5,000 in some jurisdictions. You have a complex legal system. Navigating India's legal system for IP enforcement can be labyrinthine, involving multiple levels of courts and varying interpretations. A single infringement case can drag on for 2 to 5 years, accumulating significant legal costs. Sophisticated and often well-organized counterfeiting networks operate across India, making it challenging to track down and dismantle them completely. These networks can replicate products with alarming speed and accuracy, eroding your market share. There are varying levels of awareness about IP rights and the consequences of infringement that can vary significantly across different regions and demographics in India, making it harder to garner local support for enforcement efforts. Then there are border control challenges. While customs authorities can seize counterfeit goods, the sheer volume of imports makes comprehensive border control a significant challenge. Only an estimated 5 to 10% of counterfeit goods are intercepted at the border. In the previous section, we got an understanding of the challenges of the IP environment. In this section, we look at our options for effectively meeting these challenges. The first step is often engaging with local law firms with enforcement expertise. Don't just hire any lawyer. Seek out firms with a proven track record in IP enforcement, specifically in the regions where you operate or anticipate issues. Partnering with investigative agencies. Consider engaging private investigative agencies with experience in tracking and gathering evidence of IP infringement. Working with industry associations. Many industry-specific associations actively combat counterfeiting within their sectors. Membership here can provide access to collective intelligence, lobbying efforts, and coordinated enforcement actions. Building relationships with local police. Proactively engaging with local police authorities, educating them about your IP rights, and establishing channels of communication can be crucial for swift action when infringement occurs. Collaborating with online marketplaces. Work closely with e-commerce platforms in India to implement takedown procedures for infringing listings and establish proactive monitoring mechanisms. Response times for takedowns can vary from 24 hours to several weeks. Now, sustained engagement for IP protection demands more than just engaging with the right people and authorities. You'll also have to consider the following points. Respecting local customs. Understand that aggressive or overly litigious approaches might be perceived negatively in some cultural contexts. A nuanced and relationship-based approach can often be more effective in the long run. Building brand awareness and trust. A strong, well-respected brand can be a powerful deterrent against counterfeiting. Invest in building brand awareness and trust among consumers to make genuine products more desirable. Marketing budgets for brand building can range from 5 to 15% of revenue. Consumer education is also extremely crucial. Educating consumers about the importance of buying genuine products and the risks associated with counterfeits can create a demand for authentic goods. Allocate a portion of your marketing budget, for example 1 to 3%, for consumer awareness campaigns. Then there's localized packaging and labeling. Incorporating security features into your packaging and labeling that are easily recognizable by local consumers can help them identify genuine products. This may add maybe between 1 to 5% to your packaging costs. Next, there's community engagement. Engaging with local communities and demonstrating a commitment to ethical business practices can build goodwill and make them more likely to support your brand against counterfeiting. allocate a small percentage of your CSR budget, maybe 1%, for local community initiatives. Here are some examples of companies and sectors that have faced significant challenges around IP issues. Multinational pharmaceutical companies, for example. In India, they often face challenges with generic drug manufacturers and counterfeit medications. While they typically register patents, enforcing them and preventing the sale of look-alike or falsely labeled drugs requires continuous monitoring, legal action, and sometimes public awareness campaigns. Specific instances often involve long legal battles over patent rights and attempts to stop the sale of cheaper generic versions after patent expiry, or to combat the sale of counterfeit versions with similar packaging. Quite often in this case, by the time companies detect counterfeit drugs, which can sometimes take a few years, the counterfeiting companies have already closed shop and started under a new name. Then we have global apparel and luxury goods brands who frequently encounter issues with counterfeit products being sold in street markets and online platforms. While they register trademarks, the sheer scale of the Indian market and the decentralized nature of counterfeiting make enforcement a constant battle, requiring investigative work and regular takedowns. Specific examples often involve brands whose logos and designs are widely copied on low-quality goods, diluting their brand image. Finally, consumer goods companies can face issues with local companies producing and selling imitation products with deceptively similar packaging or branding. Trademark registration is crucial, but active market monitoring and legal challenges are often needed to prevent consumer confusion. Examples include localized food products or household items that trade on the reputation of established foreign brands. Protecting your IP in India requires more than just filing paperwork. It demands a proactive, multifaceted approach that understands the enforcement realities, leverages local partnerships, and respects cultural nuances. Invest in a robust, localized IP protection strategy from day one.